In 1969, a young army officer named Muammar Gaddafi seized power in Libya. He promised revolution, he promised prosperity, but his rule quickly transformed into a dictatorship. Gaddafi ruled with an iron fist for over 4 decades. Fear became a way of life. Libyans learned to whisper their dissent. To question Gaddafi was to invite danger. Gaddafi controlled every aspect of Libyan life. His word was law. The media was his mouthpiece, broadcasting his propaganda. Opponents vanished into prisons, their fates unknown. A climate of suspicion and paranoia pervaded Libyan society. Gaddafi's Green Book became a bizarre blueprint for his regime, outlining his vision for a new Libya. But beneath the surface, resentment simmered. Libyans yearned for freedom, for justice, for a voice. Gaddafi's regime had created a pressure cooker of discontent. It was only a matter of time before it exploded. And one place came to symbolize the brutality and oppression of Gaddafi's rule: Abu Salim prison. In the sprawling suburbs of Tripoli, a sinister complex cast a long shadow over the city. This was Abu Salim, Libya's most notorious prison. Behind its high walls, thousands of political prisoners languished. Their crimes? Daring to oppose Gaddafi. Conditions inside Abu Salim were horrific. Cells were overcrowded and filthy. Disease was rampant. Torture was routine. Inmates were subject to beatings, electric shocks, and mock executions. Their screams were swallowed by the prison walls. Abu Salim was a place of despair, where hope went to die. For many Libyans, Abu Salim became synonymous with the regime's brutality. It was a chilling reminder of what awaited those who dared to challenge Gaddafi's authority. Families of the disappeared lived in a state of perpetual anguish, clinging to the slimmest hope that their loved ones were still alive. But inside Abu Salim, something was brewing. A storm of anger and desperation was about to break. June 1996. The heat inside Abu Salim was unbearable. Tensions were running high. Prisoners, pushed to their limit, demanded better conditions. They craved basic human rights, decent food, access to medical care, and fair trials. Their pleas fell on deaf ears. The guards, accustomed to wielding absolute power, responded with brutality. The situation reached a boiling point when 3 new prisoners arrived. They were former Mujahideen, hardened fighters who had fought against the Soviets in Afghanistan. Their presence emboldened the other inmates. On June 28, a riot erupted. Prisoners took control of part of the prison. They hoped to use their leverage to negotiate with the authorities. But the regime, fearing a full-scale uprising, responded with overwhelming force. News of the uprising sent shockwaves through the regime. Gaddafi dispatched his intelligence chief, Abdullah al-Senussi, to quell the rebellion. Al-Senussi, a man known for his ruthlessness, promised the prisoners a fair hearing. He urged them to lay down their arms. Believing they had secured a victory, the prisoners complied. They were herded into a courtyard, unarmed and vulnerable. What followed was a scene of unimaginable horror. Hundreds of prisoners were systematically gunned down. The massacre continued for hours. The lucky ones died quickly. Others were left to bleed to death. The regime attempted to cover up the massacre. Families were told their loved ones had died in a riot. The truth, however, had a way of leaking out. The Abu Salim massacre remained a closely guarded secret for years, but whispers of the atrocity spread. Families of the victims refused to be silenced. They demanded answers. They demanded justice. The massacre became a rallying cry for the Libyan opposition. It exposed the true nature of Gaddafi's regime, and it planted the seeds for the revolution to come. In 2011, the Arab Spring swept across North Africa. Inspired by the uprisings in Tunisia and Egypt, Libyans took to the streets. The memory of Abu Salim fueled their anger. They demanded an end to Gaddafi's rule. The revolution ultimately succeeded. Gaddafi was overthrown and killed, but the scars of Abu Salim remain.